Welcome back to Tools and Track. This is the Dannykart build. A few weeks ago, my friend Danny, who happens to be a tetraplegic, got in touch with me asking if I can fix an engine fault in his car. Obviously, I agreed, but whilst doing so, I've realised I can possibly adapt this car so that Danny can drive it, which is no small feat. We spent a few weeks, came up with a working principle, and then ultimately I brought the car down to see what we're working with. And it has problems. Lots and lots and lots of problems. Needless to say, we've made a good stab at fixing them, and in the last episode I got the engine to a point where it's ready to go in. In this episode, it's going in, and hopefully for good. Like, bell and subscribe, let's build some stuff. That now concludes the only part of this entire project that we had to do. All 7 seconds of it. Right, let's put an engine back in. So, behold, one fully assembled block. I've also treated Danny to some lovely new stainless steel bolts because the last ones looked scabby, but I'd also lost one. And I've also got a really bad, annoying habit of, like, if one bolt doesn't match, it just pisses me off. So, cam cover's on, which is good. So now we can move on to the last bit of the job, which is freshening up the timing belt. Now, as I said a couple of episodes ago, there's a correct way and a very quick way to do this. Now, I know that the timing was right because the engine did run, albeit it knocked. So I'm going to just replicate that timing rather than try and chisel off 40 years worth of paint, rust, corrosion and misery to try and work out where the timing marks are. So the real reason I'm doing it is that I've found 3 different guides for how to time a Ford Pinto engine, and all 3 of them have different locations. Where's my go? So let's not risk it, let's just do with what we know is best. So up here you'll notice I put 2 dots on the cam, 1 dot on the oil pump stroke distributor time gear, and 3 dots on the crank. Now I've mirrored the dots that I've put here, probably need to refresh these because that's a better example there. So these ones here I have actually put on both the belt and on the pulley that the belt moves. What we do is we take the old belt off, we count tooth by tooth and repeat the dots, put the new belt on, change the idler, which is part of the kit, make sure all the dots match and the engine is exactly where it should be. That is the low IQ, but still, if you know your engine's right, simple way of doing it, and I just don't have the time nor the motivation to do it the fancy way. So that's what we're going to do today. Right, how strong am I feeling today? No tools, bare backing. Right. Let's get this oil filter on. There we go. Pwah! That is now built. Cover the whole thing in some maintenance spray, not WD-40, obviously. WD-40. We've got everything clean. We've even got the rattly dust guard that I found before episode 1 put back on with the correct bolts. It's ready to go. So the next stage we need to do is throw it in the car. Except we don't, because we need to cross that hurdle where the flywheel and clutch needs to go on, which has absolutely no way of ever going on when you're on an engine stand. One day, somebody, somewhere, will invent an engine stand that allows that clutch and flywheel to go on. Until that day comes, we live in hope. Yeah, so for the uninitiated, I have just spent a good half an hour wrangling this engine into place, and it doesn't matter what engine it is, getting an engine onto a box yourself is a fight. And I was really proud of the fact that I got it balanced, got it lying, and it went. And that will be the one chance I have today of that actually working. What I failed to do is put the dust plate in, which goes between the engine and the gearbox. So now I need to take it all back out, put the plate on, and put it all back in again. Needless to say, I don't even know if that's going to go on before the clutch goes on. Listen, somebody, I've made a mess. Let's see how much bloody drama this will be to unmake. Strip it out. Right, so the engine's hitting on my newly reinstated section of chassis, which is annoying, but interestingly, it's also not straight. So it's hitting down this side, which is obviously where the extra bit of sump is, which makes sense, but looking at the Robin Hood chassis pictures, like that's always straight, it's never offset. So it's definitely in squint, and you can see it's actually pointing to this side of the car. Something that I never really noticed before because it was pointing so viciously down, that now that we have reinstated it and then it doesn't sag as much, it's more obvious that it's actually sitting over the other side. And when you look at the mounts, like that one there is actually nearly tucked under the outside chassis. This one's just floating in free space in the middle. So they've been changed because like that one is not standard. But why they've been changed and then made squint, I have no idea. This is proving to provide more questions than it does answers. However, part of me is wondering, is it really as simple a case of taking the engine mounts out, realigning the engine to be straight, re-drilling the holes and bolting it back up? Given that the next answer would be no and I need to remake the mounts, I've nothing to lose by trying this. So let's give it a go. Old, new. Behold, the engine is finally in, and more importantly, it's finally straight, which has been an unbelievably odd challenge, but it doesn't hit anything, it's sitting where it's supposed to be. Before I do anything, like, bell and subscribe before everyone tunes out, because you always do it. Reminder, patreon.com, because, you know, we're doing it for Danny. This is the whole fundraiser for this. Unfortunately, I still don't have an auto box, so you'll probably note that this is back in with the manual, just so I can give it back to Danny, hopefully in the next episode, and let him get use of it while we continue to design this crazy idea for making it available for him to drive. I think that'll do it. Definitely going to be a first start in the next video, and until next weekend, drive safe.